Hey, how you doing, everybody? This is Robert Rivera with Who's On First. I have a special guest today, Bill Kosmas. Bill, how you doing today? Introduce yourself.
I'm well, thanks, Robert. How are you doing today?
I'm all right.
Good, good.
He's an umpire. How long you been umpiring?
This is my 23rd year.
23rd year. Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot. That's a lot of baseball.
Yes, sir. A lot of baseball.
Where's your love of the game come from?
I started like a lot of guys do. They started out playing Little League baseball. I enjoyed the heck out of it, but I was never really good enough to go any farther playing senior baseball down in San Diego, California. And so one of the things that I got to do for my league as a kid playing in the league was to umpire for the lower divisions. And I liked that a lot. I got a lot of enjoyment out of that. So when my son started playing Little League ball down in San Diego, and I was coaching him, and I was sitting in the stands one day on a Saturday afternoon watching baseball, and a chief umpire for the league came up and said, "Hey, Bill, we really need a guy over on the other field. Would you please help us out?" I said, "Sure, I'll go over and do it." I just loved that aspect of the game. I decided that this was a way that even after my son and my daughter all aged out, I could stay involved in the game.
Right.
And so here I am.
So what's your favorite team?
I'm a Padres fan. I've been a Padres fan all of my life. Love them, hate them. They're not usually that good, but darn it, I'm a Padres fan.
All right. So who's your favorite player then?
Because I'm up in Seattle, I don't get to see enough of their games.
Well, all time. Doesn't have to be today's game.
I'm going to throw a name out there that not a lot of people are going to remember.
Okay.
Enzo Hernandez. Enzo played shortstop back in the late 60s, early 70s when the Padres first started. I remember him well. Back before I moved up, we had season tickets down there. And that was before it was even named Jack Murphy Stadium. Got to see the Trevor Hoffman days and my early days when Dave Winfield played for him. And later in the Ozzie days, when they brought him in to play shortstop,
Right.
Days
right.
I remember.
I remember. I have actually a Dave Winfield San Diego Padres baseball card. And when he went to the Yankees, I was in the stadium when he hit a 10-foot high line drive home run into left field. I think it hit the third or fourth row in left field at the time. And I was just amazed how hard he hit that ball, how it just screamed off his bat. It got out of there so fast, and I was amazed how he could do that. A lot of people forget about him.
I was in the stands when he hit the only ball ever hit out of San Diego Stadium.
Okay.
And he hit it foul.
I was in Toronto when Batista was playing for Toronto. He's such a vicious, nasty swing, and he hit a shot. It went all the way up into the roof. The roof was open, and it was foul. It was way foul. And I'm standing there staring at it, just looking up, and the guy behind me goes, "Sit down, it was a foul ball." And I said, "That was a 550-foot foul ball, buddy. That was a bomb. 3 more feet, that bad boy's out of here." I was like, whoa, even for a foul ball, that's a shot. So where do you umpire at?
I live on an island in the northwest Puget Sound area.
Okay.
I'm the chief umpire for the 4 most northwest districts in the United States, 4 most northwest counties, I should say, in the United States.
Okay.
Outside of that, I also I work Little League and I work high school ball as well.
My wife's actually from Eugene, Oregon. We've been up to Seattle. We were actually looking to go into British Columbia.
Mm-hmm.
I got married 2 days before 9/11. So we were on our honeymoon up there, and to go into British Columbia at the time was going to be a little bit sketchy at the time. Yeah. We were like, yeah, maybe you shouldn't cross because you might not be able to get back in. And I was like, okay, maybe we're not crossing. So yeah. But how cold is it over there in the winter?
It's not too bad. I live about 100 feet from the water, and the water regulates it pretty well. It stays around between 40 and 50 degrees.
Okay.
It's just rainy and windy, and up here we got to say, in rain or shine, it's game time. We play.
And yeah, I umpired in Tobyhanna in Pennsylvania, you would get those games on a Wednesday, be about 5:30, and I'm sitting there in a jacket, long sleeves, and you'd see the guys go, "Hey, Blue, what's the matter? You cold or something?" And about 45 minutes later, they're all shivering and shaking. But anyway, listen, I came across Bill on Facebook, and Bill had something special that happened to him on the field. Go ahead, Bill, you want to tell everybody what happened to you on the field?
And this was a surprise to me too, just so you know. But once a week I do a minor softball little league game. But I'll tell you what, these little girls, they try their heart out and they deserve an umpire that cares. They deserve an umpire that's been trained. They deserve an umpire who's going to call a fair game for them. And so the other end of it is that in my role as a chief umpire for my district, and remember this is 4 counties up here. Umpires tend to get a little arrogant sometimes when it comes to what level of ball they'll call. And so when I ask somebody, hey, would you come down and do a minor baseball game or a minor softball game? It doesn't help me to hear, well, I don't do that.
Yeah.
And so my response is, I do. And, I'm not above it. I do that not only because these kids deserve to have a trained umpire working their games, but as an example to the other umpires in my district that, it's worth it to do it. It not only helps the kids, but it helps the program. I'm the guy making out the assignments every day. And, these are the people, they need to step up and work these lower levels too. So what ended up happening is that we got, I don't know, around the 3rd or 4th inning, I started to see people showing up that I haven't seen in a while. Now, it's not strange for me to turn around and see half of the high school baseball team sitting in the stands after practice watching me, because I form relationships with these kids. There's games that I'll turn around and they'll all be sitting back there, and I'll turn around and, hey, what are you hooligans doing up there? Well, we're just watching you, Bill. And and towards the end of the game, I noticed there were more and more people back there. And a lot of people I don't see every day at these ball games. It wasn't the usual, 15 fans on each side thing. This is a field with a stadium setting, and the seats were full. And there were people standing around, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck's going on. The game ended. In the video, you can see the pitcher dropped the ball on the, out on the field, and I walked over to pick up the ball and drop it off in the home team dugout. And I turn around and they're motioning at me, hey, no, you can't leave. And all of a sudden this field is full of people. And both these teams are lined up down each fair foul line. Everybody from the district administrator to the parents to coaches from different teams that weren't even playing that day, they're all standing on the field. And at that point, I started to figure out what they were up to. And they all broke up. The girls broke into happy birthday, and all the parents started singing. And it was, I got a little emotional, I got to tell you. It was really a fantastic moment. So
yeah, I could imagine. I've umpired for years and years and years. I've done all kind of games, all kind of leagues, and I've never had a team come up to me and say, "Hey, happy birthday." But unfortunately for me, my birthday's in November, so I was always winter. So usually our games were over. In the age that we live in and the stuff that's happening in this world, to see somebody who was given their time and for them to say, hey, I appreciate it. And it's more than balls and strikes and saves and outs. It's kudos to you that, you're doing stuff like this. And those guys that are umpiring out there, guys, I had the same feeling with Bill. I went to the Wendell Stat School, went through the pro program, and whether I'm doing a minor league game or a men's league game or major league game, you guys get the same umpire. You get the shiny shoes, you get the crease pants, you get the chest protector inside, you get the hat, you will get that foul ball, he's out, you're gonna get me hustling up the line. You're gonna get that Wendell Stat product. I've done men's league, I did a 50 and over league. And Bill, I gotta tell you, it was the easiest $60 of my life. And yeah, I'm a 51-year-old guy. And at that time, I was maybe like 30 something years old. And I was going, what's wrong with these guys? And I tell you, they hit a shot down the third base line. I jumped out, I pointed fair, and I'm watching. I see him pick up the ball and drop it, pick up the ball and drop it, pick up the ball and drop it. And then finally he gets a grip on it, and I start running up the first base line. And I look, and I almost run into the batter. And he gets thrown out by 10 feet. And I'm going, oh boy, oh wow. And speaking of the West Coast, this hat is an M's hat.
There you go.
Yep. Yeah, this is, my wife brought it back from Eugene when she was out there in Eugene, Oregon.
You mentioned Safeco Field where the Mariners played. Team
right.
I guess. You know, I was blessed to work a game there on that field, and it was a high level high school tournament. They let the crew use the MLB guys' dressing room. You know, I wore my plate coat that day. You know, I spent probably 2 hours stripping and shining my shoes. You could cut your fingers on the crease of my slacks. You know? and it was a fabulous experience. The Mariners even provided me with a video of the game shot from the MLB cameras, and I got to sit there for 4 hours looking at every pitch back and forth to see if I missed it, why I missed it, you know, head height, you know, slot positioning, all of that stuff. It was a fabulous teaching tool. That same time that I put into that game, I put into doing Little League.
Mm-hmm.
I don't walk on the field with scuffed shoes, you know, in a Little League game. Yeah. I can't do it. I don't know how guys can anymore. Yeah. You know, it's so ingrained now. You know, the crease has got to be right. You know, your jersey's got to be ironed. But it's part of building a culture. When I first came up from San Diego up here, we had leagues that were just at each other's throats. When you went to one league, you know, they're accusing the umpire of cheating, and they're screaming, and they're, you know, and then they'd come over to another league, and the same thing's going on. And it was ugly, and I didn't like it. And so I got together with some of these coaches, and I sat them down and I said, look, we've got to change the culture. We've got to change the culture of what we're doing here, because the kids deserve better than this. And it's on us to start. This is about 2007. I finally got with these guys, and I started working with them to change the culture of what goes on in a ball game in my Little League district. And I can tell you what you saw in that video, in that birthday video, that's the fruits of that. That's the outcome of that work. I can go to any league in any of the 4 counties in my district on my birthday, and that could happen because of the relationships that I've built with all of these people and all of these kids and all of these parents over the years. It's changed the culture up here. That makes a huge difference, not only in the kids' game, but in the ability to recruit umpires.
Yeah.
I have a junior umpire program. I've got kids as young as 10 calling baseball games in my district, and they're not going to come back if they've got some parents screaming at them.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it happens everywhere. We've had discussions about the Vanishing Empire, and lately it has been attacking, fighting, pushing umpires. I've been harassed. I've been threatened myself as an umpire. I'm no tough guy, but I'm not easy either. So my dad always taught us, you know what, you don't start a fight, but make sure you finish it. I'm not a wolf, but I'll be damned if I'm a lamb. And people come at me. I've tried to defuse it and calm the whole situation down. I've never been in an actual altercation, you could say, on the field, maybe an ejection. They had to take the guy off the field or whatever, but it's been pretty close. I mean, close enough to where my wife wants to call the cops. Right. You know, so I mean, in this culture, to see that's what you're doing up there in the Northwest, maybe that's something that we need to look at. Maybe we need to build on something else. And the state of Florida now, if assault on an official is a felony.
Yep.
So, I mean, it could jeopardize your family, your future over a little league game, you know, and I see it all the time. So it's nice to see that there's somebody somewhere doing something else and making a difference besides saying, hey, we're going to, you know, prosecute you. We're going to get you in trouble. We're going to ban your team. We're going to kick your kid out. You know, I mean, I believe the game deserves better than that. And we need to, like you're doing, we need to get to get it from the bottom and work it all the way up. So when you leave, Bill, there's somebody else behind you and say, hey, I'm going to keep this going on the player, manager, and umpire level, and also the front office administration level. So we need to keep doing that. Who introduced you to the game? That's what.
You know, that's a hand-me-down from my dad.
That's your dad?
You betcha.
What was his favorite team?
Big Red Machine.
The Big Red Machine.
The Big Red Machine.
You know, it's funny. I got back into collecting baseball cards, and I was telling a buddy of mine, I said, if I can umpire a game, I would love to umpire one of the Big Red Machines games just to see these guys play ball against a 50s Yankees team. Sit back and just watch these guys and umpire and watch these guys just play. Like, and you're like, oh my God, this is, you know, so great. I'm standing behind Johnny Bench. And
can you imagine working behind Johnny Bench? Holy cow.
Yeah, you know,
greatest catcher of all time. I think Yachty's catching him, but you know, in my book, he's the greatest catcher of all time.
Yeah. And that one, or I'd like to umpire a Dodgers game with Tommy Lasorda at the helm. And yeah, I like to see Tommy lose his mind every once in a while. But that it was pretty funny. Is your goal the Little League World Series? Have you been exposed to that one?
Yeah, I've worked my 11-12 regional, and I made my points on evaluation for Williamsport. I've also worked both the Western Region Junior Division regional, and also made my points for that. In 2017, I got invited up to Lethbridge, Canada, to work their junior national tournament up there.
Okay,
that was a ball. But this year I'll go to Oakland, California, and work their senior regional. Looking at everything that goes on, and don't get me wrong, I love the Little League World Series, and I love watching it. One of my best umpiring friends I have is going to be an umpire there this year.
Okay.
The guy who started me umpiring, remember when we started the conversation, this guy came up and pulled me out of the stands. He was there last year.
Okay.
Some of my closest umpiring friends have worked that Little League World Series.
Okay. He was there last year when they had the umpires that had done it twice or something.
So this was his second time.
Right. Well, Sean Gilday is one of my buddies out in Pennsylvania, and he was on that crew also.
Yeah.
I believe he had gotten the semifinal game behind the plate. Excellent umpire. And same thing. He just loves the game, loves the sport, and always about the kids, trying to get it done.
My goal is to work the Junior League World Series in Taylor, Michigan.
Okay.
13-14. That's every year I apply to a World Series. To Little League for a World Series, and that's the one that I apply for every year.
Okay.
I think it's just best suited for me.
Okay. All right. Well, Bill, thank you. I thank you for being on, and I appreciate it. Once again, this big old birthday cake is for you. So happy birthday. And guys, listen, and if you're umpiring, you're out there, take a page out of Bill's book. We'll probably put your email on. Is that good? We'll put your email on there. If anybody has any questions for you, they can shoot you an email. Thank you, Bill, for being on again. As we always say, what do we say here on Who's On First? Keep swinging. If you like the show, please do me a favor. Subscribe. Right. You see it? It's right there. Subscribe, share, like, and don't forget, put that bell on. It'll ding you when I put something else on, all right?